No one on the medical deck of the Valtryek 7 warcruiser had seen anything like it. The human should have died. By every known law of biology, he was dead. His heart had stopped, his lungs had collapsed, and most of his blood had poured out onto the sterile metal floor. And yet, he moved. Dr. Servac, one of the most respected trauma physicians of the Zarthan Confederation, stood frozen near the med table, her blue-scaled hands trembling. The human had arrived minutes ago, carried in by 2 military escorts. He had been found on a burning moon colony, crushed under rubble from a plasma strike. The strike had hit directly. No life form, Zarthan or otherwise, could survive that. But somehow, this one did. The human was tall, covered in soot and dried blood, body torn open in 3 different places. Servac had ordered immediate containment, scans, and emergency regeneration. But when the scans returned, they showed something impossible. The human's own cells were repairing themselves. Bone was knitting back together. Tissue, scorched and dead just minutes before, was slowly regaining color. Servac had thought it was a machine error. She reset it twice. Same result. Then the human opened his eyes. Not slowly, not weakly. He stared right at her like he had just woken from a nap, not from a brush with death. His lips cracked, but he smiled. Smiled. "You okayed, Doc?" he said, voice hoarse but somehow steady. Servac took a step back. Her assistant, a junior medic named Telna, gasped and dropped the scanner. It hit the floor with a loud clatter, but no one moved to pick it up. Everyone was staring at the man who should be dead. "How are you still alive?" Servac whispered. She hadn't meant to say it out loud, but the words escaped anyway. The human gave a small shrug, then winced in pain. "Just need a minute. We heal fast. We heal fast." Servac blinked, trying to understand. Fast. This wasn't fast. This was beyond logic. Even Zarthan elite warriors, with centuries of genetic enhancements, couldn't regenerate like this. The human's organs were literally knitting back together without assistance. The med chamber wasn't even engaged. His body had taken over the healing, on its own. She stepped closer, scanning him again manually. Readings confirmed what the auto systems had shown. His blood pressure was normalizing. Brain activity stable. Oxygen levels rising. But the data didn't help. It didn't explain anything. Servac felt her chest tighten, something unfamiliar building in her throat. Fear, not of the human, of what it meant. "Doctor," Telna asked softly, "should we sedate him?" Servac shook her head. "No, he doesn't need us." She turned to the others in the room. Every one of them looked stunned, some even disturbed. No one spoke. No one dared. The human shifted on the table and slowly sat up. There were still open wounds on his body, but even as they watched, they closed. Slowly, but clearly. Skin reformed. Muscles reconnected. His breathing deepened, more even. "I've been through worse," he muttered, rubbing the back of his neck. First time getting crushed by a building, though. That was new. Servac felt a sudden wave of pressure in her chest. It wasn't just disbelief. It was helplessness. In all her cycles of medical service, she had seen species die begging, screaming, fighting. She had fought death with everything she had. Tools, machines, knowledge. But the human didn't fight death. He ignored it. She turned away from him, her vision blurry. She tried to hide it, but a tear rolled down her cheek, and then another. Her hands trembled harder. She had trained on 37 planets, learned 17 different biological systems, had saved thousands of lives. And now she was watching something that made all her experience feel small. The human was healing from wounds that should have ended him 10 times over, without help, without even panic. And now he was cracking jokes. Servac leaned against the med table for support. Her breathing became shallow. It wasn't just confusion. It was the terrifying realization that she didn't understand this species. Not really. Not at all. The human looked over and saw her wiping her face. "Hey, you all right?" he asked, genuinely concerned. She laughed bitterly through the tears. "I'm the doctor. I should be asking you that." He smiled again, this time softer. "You saved me. I felt someone pulling me back when everything went dark. That was you, right?" "No," she said. "That wasn't me." And she meant it. She turned back to the monitors, pretending to be busy, but inside, her mind was racing. How many other things had they misunderstood about humans? About their limits? About their place in this galaxy? She didn't know the answer. But one thing was clear. This human should have died. And he didn't. And Servac would never forget it.